Good evening. With all the world events, I decided to post this because there is such a thing as going to the scriptures about what is happening with all the plane crashes, worldwide events, especially earthquakes that are occurring, and so on and so forth. So, where I am at is in Matthew 24:8, but I'm going to back up a little bit. Here I am. I'm at Matthew 24. I'm going to start with all these are the beginning of sorrows, and the verse appears here in Matthew chapter 24. And in this verse, Jesus is explaining to the disciples the events that he describes the beginning of sorrows and birth pains, and that the end is not yet. And he describes these events are wars, famines, earthquakes, and the rise of false messiahs. He also tells us that the disciples not to be frightened or disoriented by these events. In Matthew 24:3, the disciples asked Jesus when these events would take place and what the sign of his coming will be. He goes on to say in Matthew 24:5, Jesus explains that many false messiahs will come and claim to be authentic. He goes on to say in Matthew 24:6, Jesus describes wars and rumors of wars. And then he continues to say this in Matthew 24:7, Jesus describes the famines and earthquakes. That leads us to Matthew 24:8. So let me go on to say that in Matthew 24:8, it says this: all these are the beginning of the birth pains and the beginning of sorrows. So why I wanted to talk about this is because it explains on the timeline of events where we're at. If you were to read Matthew 24, which is an important part of reading scripture in this context, we will get a better understanding where we're at in the context of Bible history and where we're at. Now, I did more than just study Matthew 24. I studied much more. I went into 1 Thessalonians 1 and 2. So let me go there. All I can say is I can paraphrase. I can get there. It's 2. So just to tell you a little bit about this Bible, it is a CSB. It's not a KJV. And I have been doing study. I'm going to study this and then I'm going to go on to the KJV. But like I am showing you here, I did a condensed study. And I did finish Thessalonians 2. So I'm on to Timothy. But I just think the art is really beautiful in here. It's really nice. But let me get to 1 Thessalonians here for a second, because I think there's something important here. Oh, it's sticking. Get there for a second. It's 2. Now this is important. At the very end, actually 1 Thessalonians describes the soon returning Jesus Christ in the description that basically, if I can read it, is that the day of the Lord, that he will come like a thief in the night. If you paraphrase this, because there's a lot more about sanctification and the coming of the Lord, how to prepare like that. We would be prepared in the way, such a way as we would be dressed appropriately, our conduct. Uh, you would get the idea more like just how to live your life, occupied till the Lord comes. But the coming day of the Lord described here in 1 Thessalonians is that no one knows the day or hour, but the hour is approaching. And then the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. I didn't want to get too much into this because I wasn't planning on going there, but I just want to show you that this is a cowhide Bible, as I've shared in the past, and it's easy to get to and read and study, but I do want to emphasize as great as a Bible as this is, I really encourage the KJV more so after studying this Bible. This is good, but I like the KJV just as much more. So it is a good Bible though, and I enjoy studying it. But at the same time, I encourage people to get into the Word, draw close to the Lord now while you can. But we are in the beginning of sorrows. After watching the plane crash and the helicopter crash and what happened in Houston today, there's no question in my mind we are watching world events, especially after hearing the reports of the M-Class 5 solar Earth-facing solar explosion on the sun, and we can expect earthquakes and volcanism. Just watch and see what happens there too as well. That's it for my post. Thank you for watching. God bless.